This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Good evening, all. This is Mohammed Idris from SkillBout. Today, I'm gonna be doing the topic on constructor chaining, right? Constructor chaining on generators, iterators, generator object, and iterator object. Okay. So for more information, you can go onto the description and you can check it out the links. And for more registration with us, like you can click onto the registration link. Thank you. So let's stick on to the topic on the constructor chaining. Constructor, right? Constructor chaining. What do you mean by constructor chaining? It's so annoying, right? When you make up a video for the YouTube, okay, you need to be more formal than the more class, right? When the formal comes across and you cut short all the extra things, and the only focus in your mind is like, oh yeah, YouTube, yeah, this video is going somewhere else, someone's hand, which to whom I haven't met it, right? So I need to be like more conscious on this, the words I use, the example which I give it, right? It's too formal. It becomes, when it becomes too formal, right, we cannot be in so much close with the audience. That is what I believe in. Okay, so each of them has the different perspective. So let's stick to the topic, constructor chaining. What do you mean by constructor chaining, guys? Chaining means like there are like two or more things. Okay, so maybe like there are like four of them standing here, If they hold their hands together, that is what the chaining is. There is something called as link, right? There is something called as interrelated. Okay, isko bulayega, chaining ho jayega, right? I hope when you're in the when you're young, you're playing ringa ringa roses, right? So your mom is to tell, okay, hold your hands, make a chain, right? So, and that's the one, right? So I'll be giving that directly. I'll be giving the example for you. Of course, there are like two to more. There are like more constructors. Okay, when you have more constructors, you're gonna be doing the connectivity with one constructor with another constructor. Whereas in Java, in one class itself, you can have n number of constructors. Okay, in one class itself you can have, if I take mib has a class name, in one class itself you can have many multiple constructors, right? Inside the class itself you can have chaining. This concept is called as what? Constructor overloading, right? This concept is called as what? Constructor overloading. You are overloading the constructor. But in Java, this is in the Java, right? In C you don't have like this. What is this overloading? One function name, in different parameters you will pass it something called a star and double star, you will pass it, and you'll end up doing what? Constructor chaining, right? But in the same class you don't have the constructor chaining, right? So whenever the concept of constructor chaining comes, there is a concept called as inheritance. There is a concept called as what? Inheritance. If you want to achieve the constructor chaining, you need to achieve the concept called as what? Inheritance first, right? Yes, we need more than one class. Okay, more than one class, right? We need to have more than one class to form what? Constructor chaining. Okay, so for example, now what I do it, okay, simple thing, I'll be doing it. So I'll create a new file. Okay, so or else I have opened it morning, right? So I had opened some morning file. I'll do it this one itself, guys. Okay, why to waste the content, right? So I'll just put it in the comment, this one. Excuse me. Okay, look onto this, more formal now, right? So I'll put everything in the comment now, right? So I'll come here and I'll put it as like this. This is the previous class, guys, on the exception handling, which we have it in the previous video. You can just check it out. Look, everywhere it is promotion itself now. Oh God. Okay, so now coming to this one. So what I'll do it, like I'll just tell as like class, I'll just tell as like mib, and I will tell as like this, right? So here definitely I will do the constructor. I will have the constructor. How do you do it? Init, right? So I'll just do it as like init, and I'll do it as something like this, like s I need it. That is nothing but self, which is holding the object address, right? So I'll just tell as like a is equals to 0 and b is equals to 0. I'll tell it, right? So this is what the constructor, the different constructor is, right? So what I'll do it now, a s dot a, right? S dot a is equals to a, and I'll do it as like this. S dot b is equals to what? B, right? So this is nothing but an instance variable. These are all called as what? Instance variable, which you have come across, right? Inside the object, the variables are created. That is what I meant it, right? So now what I'll do is like, okay, so I'll just print it out, print it out. I'll just tell us I am constructor of constructor of I'll just tell as like class MIB. I'll tell it. So just ignore the spellings and the caps locks. Okay, so why the color is not changed? Okay, I haven't opened this. That's fantastically fine. Okay, now what I do is like I will be doing one more class now. So I'll just tell as like class. I'll just tell as like web, right? So now what I do is I need, of course, I need constructor. So I'll call this. I'll just tell as like init, right? So init I'll tell it. Now I'll just tell it as like I'll tell as like s comma. I'll just tell as like a is equal to 0, right? A is equal to 0. I'll tell it. So I'll come here and I'll tell it as like s dot a is equals to a. I will tell it, and I'll tell it as print. I'll tell it as like I am constructor of class web. I'll tell it. That's totally fine, guys. Now what I need to do it, so to achieve the constructor chaining, I need to inherit it. So I'll inherit MIB. So inheriting concept is also done, right? So now what I do is, okay, simple thing what I need to do is like I want to create an object, guys. Okay, suppose let's say I will be creating an object called as MNO. Okay, I want to create an object called as, sorry, I'll create an object of web. Okay, I'll create an object of web. Okay, so I'll just save it in W. Okay, so I'll just save it in W, right? So like this it happens. Now what I do is like I will go and like I will call the constructor, right? So I'll run this program, right? I will run this program. So what happens, which class constructor it is calling? It is calling I am constructor of class web, right? I am a constructor called as web, right? Now tell me guys, now tell me, when I create a, when I am invoking object, by default it is invoking this init, right? Init method is invoking it, right? So now what happens, what if I ignore this, guys? What if I don't have this? Okay, what if I don't have this? Okay, so what if I don't have this? Okay, I'll come here, I'll just tell it as like pass. Okay, I'll tell it as like pass, pass, pass. Okay, so I will go for here, I'll just check it out whether it will work or not. Yeah, what is it calling it? I am a constructor of class B, right? Are you getting the difference, guys? Look here, I'm creating an object of web, okay, and it is telling it what? I don't have a constructor over here, it is an empty class. At the time, which class constructor it is invoking it? It is going and invoking this mib class constructor. Is that okay? Now you can tell that if I write a constructor over here, you can tell that easily. You can tell that this constructor is overriding it. This is called as constructor overriding. Yes or no? This constructor is nothing but like a function itself. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Just confirm with me that. Look here, look here, look here. I have one surprise for you. Yeah. Just confirm with me that. Yes. Now it is very much. You can see the chat right now. Okay. So now just confirm with me that like isn't it that one? Isn't it that one, guys? Like this is nothing but like same like method overriding. Yes or no? 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 Yes, 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 yes. It is nothing but what? Method overriding, right? Now what I need to do is like by invoking this, if I create this, you know this, okay, it will by default, it will invoke this constructor. It will never ever go for this one, right? So by default, it will come here and it will do it. That is what the overriding concept is. Now I want to invoke this function as well. Okay, I want to invoke this function as well. At that time, what I do is from this constructor, how do I call that constructor? Simple thing, guys. I'll just tell it as mib. I'll just tell it as like init. Okay, I will try like this, init like this. Okay, init constructor like this, and I will call this. So here I want to pass it some variable. I'll just pass it s, comma s. I will pass it. Okay, because that s I want to pass it, right? So I will run this program now. Now what is it telling it? I am a constructor class web and I am a constructor class mib. Okay, now this concept is called as what? Constructor chaining. And this concept is called as what? Constructor chaining. Okay, what if I don't pass the yes? Okay, so here Python is not invoking this. Remember this, Python is not invoking this. You are itself invoking this. Forcefully you are invoking that method. Okay, missing one required positional argument, right? When you are calling this, you need to pass the address. Okay, you need to pass some address. Okay, maybe you can pass it MIB itself, or else you can pass the same object, whatever the object you have created, that same object you can create it. Got it? Now this class getting two constructors, right? Constructor. Why do you use constructor? Again, to initialize the variables, right? To initialize the class variables or members of the class. right? So that is the reason you will be using the constructor. Now what are you doing? You are initializing this class constructor also. You are also invoking this class constructor also. That's how you can initialize this variables. Okay, got this point? Got this point? What I'm using it, I'm directly calling mib function. Okay. Now what happens in this? There is a small twist here. Okay, in this there is a small twist here. Now what I do is instead of telling mib function, I will just set it as super. Okay, I'll just set it as like super. I'll use it calling statement, super calling statement. Now what I do it, okay, when I run this, okay, it is also invoking same thing. It is also doing the same task. Okay, that is what your super is doing it. So what the super is, guys? It will get your reference of the inherited class. That is what it is telling it. Got it? Got it, guys? The super will never do anything much. It will get the reference of this one. Got it? If I want you to so I'll just print. I'll just tell as like super. I might be wrong. I might be correct. This is just on spot thinking. That's it. Okay. Okay. So I'll go here. I'll run this program. Might be correct. Might be wrong. Want here class mib and it is class main mib. Okay. So it is getting you what? It is nothing but it is getting you this one class web address. It is also getting what? Class web. Class. What is it getting it? Sorry, I cannot feel the difference. Wait a second, guys. Wait a second. I will just give a gap here so that I'll understand it. Okay. So I will just tell it out like this. Okay. So it is a web object. It is a class main mib object. Okay. That's fine. Okay. It is this inside the web object you have that thing which is nothing but like that constructor. So it is okay, not to worry about it. Okay, so I told you, right, the class diagram you have it inside that there is one method, you have some address, that is what the address it is getting it. Got it? So not to worry about it. Okay, so both one the same, both are meaning same. Okay, I have told you in the class diagram of it, it is reference to that one. Again, it is pointing to the same thing. Okay, this address is pointing to this one itself. This is the main address. In fact, at the last it is getting to here itself. Got it? Not to worry about much. Okay, so I just wanted to tell about what the super will do it. Okay, instead of you can do it something like this mib itself, nothing wrong in this. Again, you are pointing to here itself. This is what the super class is, this is what the parent class is, or else you can just tell it as in the generalized they taught it. I'll write it super. All right, I'll write it what? Super. That's it. Okay, so if I run this program, and I'll be calling my upper class, right? I'll be calling what? Upper class. Not to worry about it. Okay, this concept is called as what? Constructor chain. This concept is called as what? Constructor chaining. Okay, take down this one. Done, guys? Okay, whenever you are overriding it, you can call it like this itself. Okay, whenever you want it or you're overriding it, you can call it like this itself, not to worry about it. Guys, done? Any queries you have it, you can ask it. Okay, that's great. That's really, 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 really great. Okay, I want to show you something. I'm not getting a proper example. Can I show it? Mhm. Okay, so I wanted to do this calculation. Okay, so what is this? What is this? I wanted to do something, guys. I'm not getting the proper example where I can fit it into this. Fit into this, fit into this, fit into this. Okay, that's fine. I'll just call a function. I'll write a function. I'm just trying this. Okay, just ignore it if I'm doing wrong. Okay, or else you can correct it also. I'll just tell as def. I'll just tell it as like skill. I'll tell it. I'll tell it as skill. Okay, skill. I will tell it. I will tell it as a function, right? So since this is a function instance, I'll just tell it as like this, and I'll tell it as a here, right? Here I will return it return return a plus a. Okay, a plus a. I will tell it. I'll return a plus a, right? The same thing I'll do it here also. Okay, same thing I'll do it here also. Def, I'll just tell it as like skill. I will tell it as like s comma e. I will tell it s comma e. I will tell it. So this becomes a overriding thing, right? I'll just tell it as like a return. I will tell it has like I'll just tell it as a, right? So now what I do is, for example, what I do is here is like w dot. I'll just tell it as like skill. I'll tell it. Okay, w dot skill. I will tell it. Okay, skill. I'll tell it. Skill. I will tell it, and I'll pass it like 10. I will tell it, right? So I'll put it in a printf statement. I'll sorry, print statement. So I'll put it in a print statement, right? Now tell me, guys, which function will get executed? So I'm creating an object of w. All right, I'm calling skill w dot skill 10. All right, so tell me, guys, which function will get executed? Whether the web function will get executed, or web method will get executed, or a mib method will get executed. Web or mib? Web or mib? Which one will get executed? Whether this skill will get executed or this skill will get executed. A simple question I'm asking it. Web, right? Right? Web, right? So what I do is like I will be calling this function and I will run this program. Right? I will run this program. Obviously it is calling what? Web, right? So if I want you to like print it properly, that's fine, right? That's fine. Now what I do is, okay, now I want to call this function, right? I want to call this function. What can I do it? What can I do it? A simple thing. What can I do it? Either I can tell it something like this: mib dot mib dot, I can tell it has something function name, right? I can tell it as skill. I can tell it as skill. Skill of, I'll just tell it as like a. I will tell it, right? So this is one way I can call it. Okay. So if I want to call the super class constructor, okay. Super class constructor, I need to pass the yes also here. So I want to do this job to me. Okay, so I'm calling super class constructor now. So this is how I'll call the super class constructor. So how do I do it? So I'll just tell as mib skill, and I'll pass this assign a, right? Assign a to this one. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Till here it is clear. Till here it is clear. Till here it is clear. SS guys, SS guys, SS guys. Okay. Now what I do is, okay, what I do is instead of mib, I will use what? Super. 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 I will use it. Okay, super. I will use it. So if I run this program, I might get error. Yeah, as expected. So when I use super, I don't want to tell what I'm passing here. I guess so. Okay, so if I run this program, yes, it is completely coming perfect. Okay, so this is how I call this super class constructor. Look on here, I have inherited this one skill, and what I'm doing it, I'm adding this one super dot skill, I'm adding this. I'm going and calling the super class constructor. Okay, I'm calling what? I mean like parent class constructor, parent class method. So by this one, using this one. Okay. So now what happens? It will call just I want to pass a parameter, and the object will pass it. Normally it will pass it. Nothing to worry about it. Got it? Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Yes. Yes sir. No sir. Yes sir. No sir. Yes sir. No sir. Now the question is, okay, what this super will pass it, right? What this super will pass it, right? Let me check it out. Okay, so I'll just set it as like this print. I'll just set it as like s here, and here also I'll just set it as like print s. Right? Print s I'll tell it, right? So it should go via from here itself, right? So I'll pass this one. So what happens is, look onto this one, guys. This address remains same thing. It is a object's address. It is passing it. Okay, who is passing it? The super itself will pass it, where I was doing manually, right? So s comma, but it will super itself will do its job, right? When I do this mib, mib here, right? Mib here, it is not doing it. Okay, I'll get a slap, I guess. Perhaps I'll get a slap, right? So what I'll do it, I need to do additional job, right? So telling that, okay, this is how it is going to be passed. Nothing wrong in this. Okay, absolutely nothing wrong in this, right? When I do this, okay, when I tell super, super will take care of everything, right? Super function will take care of everything for the method. Okay, this is how I'm communicating with the upper class. So whenever you don't want the recently updated one, okay, you wanted the, like the other one, right, which is in the super class, at the time you're going back to the back version. Okay, look out here, guys. You have in something, in some softwares, you have something like this. Okay, you in some softwares you can wish it, in WhatsApp you take it down. You cannot go for the older version. Can you download the older version in the WhatsApp, or maybe like in the Facebook, or maybe like in some other thing? You cannot do that. Okay, it is highly impossible, right? You need to do it current version, right? But in the Linux or operating system, or you can tell it as like Python itself, you take it down, you have many versions, and you can go on download any of the version. All right, so you can go to the previous version and you can download. That is what I'm doing it here. I'm going to the previous version. Okay, I can even go to the previous version. Got it? So that is how you are doing with this overriding concept. Okay, how do you call the super class? Okay, super class function. Okay, this is how you will call it. Okay, any of the time you can call this one. Is that okay, guys? Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay, just take down this. Okay, just take down with this two examples. That's more than enough for you. And maybe like in the practice, you can get it done with this. Guys, done? Guys, done, 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 done. Confirm with me. Confirm with this, please. Okay, there is a heavy concept in this. There are like heavy concept in this. You can pass that like parameters also in the super. Okay, right now we don't want to look onto it. Okay, it will become like heavy big crunch onto you. Okay, you can tell it as this is not a keyword, it's a super calling statement. You can tell it. Done, everyone? Everyone done? Everyone done? Everyone done? Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, now let's look onto it. Write on a side heading called as generators. Okay, write on a side heading called as generators. Okay, one of my favorite topic. Okay, one of my favorite topic. So what's it for all the things you tell it as favorite itself? What to do, guys? Okay, I would say much puru, right? Okay. So next one is what? Generators. Wait, what do you mean by generators, guys? So what do you mean by that word, generator? What do you mean by generator? What do you mean by generator? Normal word, normal sentence, maybe like normal, normal technical word. Wait a second, guys. I will just stop recording this one.
This conference will now be recorded.
Hello all. We'll be discussing today on the generators. Okay. So the previous was on the constructor chaining and constructor overloading, and now it is like generators. What do you mean by generators normally? Like which generates something, right? So generate something, right? So you generate it and you store it, right? What is this generator, right? It saves some like some units of like electricity and generate it and you store it. Something called as like that. When you take over the generator, right? Same thing here also, something like that itself. Maybe like you're performing some task and you're storing it in one thing. Whenever you wanted it, you are using it, right? That is what the generator is, right? So now coming to here, write it down. Generator function returns a generator object. Okay, it is a function. Generator is a function which returns a generator object. Okay, wait a second, guys. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, look here. How do you tell it generator? Okay, it's just like a function itself. It's just like a normal function itself. Whenever you use, I'll be using a keyword called as yield. Y-I-E-L-D, yield. Okay, this is the keyword which is very important, which I'll be discussing today. Okay, entire thing I'll be discussing now. Okay, whenever I talk about like yield keyword inside, if you found any in a function, if you found yield keyword, okay, that means it is a generator. It is a generator object. Okay, it is a generator function, or you can tell it as like a generator object. Got it? Okay, there are actually two terms which are involved in the generators. Okay, one is like generator functions and other one is like generator object. Okay, generator function and generator object. Okay, first one, write it down, generator function. Okay, first one, write it down, generator function. A generator function is defined like a normal function, but whenever it needs to generate a value, it does so with the yield keyword. Okay, as I told you, like whenever I use a yield keyword inside a function, then called to be Hasloi generator function. Okay, for example, simple thing, guys. Okay, whenever I tell it, okay, for I'll tell it as like def, I'll just tell it as like mib. Okay, mib, and I'll tell it as a function like this. If I have yield, yield, okay, yield maybe like 1 2 3, whatever it is, this becomes what? Generator function. Okay, instead of return, I will be using what? Yield. Okay, I'll be using what? Yield keyword. Okay, at that time you can tell it as, okay, this is creating what? Generator function. Okay, so now I'll come here and I'll be writing the same thing. I'll just tell as like def, I'll just tell as like def, I'll just tell as mib, and I'll be writing like this, right? Instead of this one, instead of returning something, I'll be just telling class, I'll come to here like this, print I am gen I am generator. Okay, so I'll just print it like this. right? I'll just print it like this. Okay, so I'll just print it like this. So when it is called generator, when I tell a keyword yield, okay, yield I'll just tell that's like 1 comma 2 comma 3, right? So I'll run this program. Okay, I'll run this program. I'll give you a brief it out when I'll be using this function, that this everything. So I'll just tell as like mib function. I'll call this, and I have this one. Okay. Oh. Okay, so what is it doing it? It is creating what? Generator object map at so and so. Okay, that is how it is creating it. Okay, that is how it is creating it. That is how it is creating it. Take it up. So what you need to do it for the generator, what happens for the generator, everything I'm gonna be telling you. Okay. Hello. Sorry guys, my bad. Okay, so you got something like this. I'll be completing, guys. Now I know you are like little confused with this, but I'll be clearing everything for you. Not to worry about it. Okay, right now you take it down. This is what the generator is. Okay, this is what generator it will return it. Generator object will return it. Okay, take down this. Done. Okay, whenever I want to read a value of an object, right? Whenever I want to read a value of an object, what I'll do it, I'll be doing a iterator, right? Simple thing, I'll be doing it here also, right? So what I do is some simple thing for I in, I'll just tell as like mib, I'll call like this, and I'll tell it as like mib, I'll print it as I. You can see this am generator, it is calling it, the function it is called am generator, and it is calling you what? 123. So it is returning 123 entire thing. Oh, this is how I will be accessing the content of the generator. Okay, the best example for the generator, you can tell it as range function. You have come across the range function, guys. You have come across the range function. So when I tell about the range function, you will come across everything. Something called as range function, you have come across this one. All right, this is also a good example for the generator. It is also acting like a generator itself. Okay, but now I'll be clearing the concept of yours. Okay, I'll be clearing of the concept of yours. Okay, for example, okay, so look onto this, guys. Okay, so I'll be creating one program. I int I is equal to 0. I'll just set as like while. I'll tell as like while I is less than 10, I will tell it. While I is less than 10, I will tell it. And I'll be telling it has, instead of printing it, okay, instead of printing it I here, okay, instead of printing it I here, and then I will tell it as I plus is equals to 1, and then I will tell it as like, yeah, instead of doing this. Okay, so if I run this program, obviously you will get to know the answer called as like, if I tell it as like mib function, if I call it as mib function, I'll be getting this one 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? So in place of print, okay, in place of this line, okay, in place of this line, what I do is I will generate it. Okay, I'll generate it by how I will generate it, by using what? Yield function. I'll yield I will do it. Okay, instead of what I did it, instead of printing, okay, instead of printing I, okay, instead of this line, what I'm doing it, writing it, I'm telling it yield I, right? If I run this program, okay, if I run this program, for example, mib, I'll call it like this. What I'm creating it, I'm creating generator object, right? To access generator object, I need a iterator, right? So the well-known iterator is for loop, right? For i in I'll just set as like mib. Okay, for I in mib, I'll tell it. So I'll print it I here. Now what happens? It is printing all these things called as 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Is that so simple, guys? Is that so simple? Yes or no? 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 Take it on this. Take it on this. Okay, what I'll be using it? I'll be using the yield keyword. Okay, what I'll be using it? Yield keyword. I'll be using what? Yield keyword. Okay, you can have a note. You can have a note. So generator function returns an generator object that is iterable. That is iterable. That is iterable. Generator function returns a generator object. Generator function returns a generator object that is iterable. That is what the difference is. Generator function and generator object. This is what the generator function is. If you have the yield, and the generator function will return generator object, and you can iterate that. Okay, that you can iterate that. Okay, and I'll be telling something why you use generator, because to transmit the large file. Okay, one has like heavy file, a large file. Okay, short, when you want to like send it, it is like very tedious job to send it. At the time you will break down the file into the certain modules. Okay, at the time you can use the generator and you can send it packet by packet, you can send it. At the time this generator is used over there. Okay, whenever you deal with a long file, you will be dealing with what? Generators. Okay, now I'll give one simple example for you, which you're going to be doing now, Okay, something called as a range function, guys. Okay, something called as a range function. We'll be doing it now, right now. Okay, this is something nice which I can do it, okay, for you. Okay, I'll tell us for I in, I'll just tell us like range, right? I'll just tell us range of what, like 10, I will tell it, right? Range of 10, I will tell it, and I will tell it as like what is this, like I'll just print it as I, right? How it is getting this one, guys? How it is getting this one? How it is getting this one? Right, it is as same as like mib function. I have done it for you, right? Look on here, I'll just tell us like for I in mib, I'll delete, right? For I in mib, I'll delete, right? So I'll just set it as like I now here, right? So okay, I haven't run this program. Okay, I haven't run this, right? Sorry, I haven't run this. Okay, so now what I do is I'll make it simple changes here. I'll put it in here and I'll put it in here. Okay, you will get the simple changes now. Let me tell you now. Okay, I'll run this program, right? So what I'll do it now, for I in, I'll just allow like for I in a range of 10, I'll pass it, right? So this is entirely same way it is behaving it for I'll just allow that for I in, oh, I need to use some other variable, guys. If I use this variable, right, so it will be affecting it. Okay, mib of 10, I will tell it. Okay, so it won't work it. It is working, no problem. Okay, are you getting this point, guys? Are you getting this point? Right, so this behaving like the same thing, this I own, we have created this, right? We have created this. For example, I can even tell it as for I in mib of 5, I will tell it. So this generator, with the help of generator object, I'll be creating all those things, right? 0 1 2 3 4, I'm creating it, right? Are you getting my point? So I can even tell it as like 100 also, I can tell it, nothing to worry about it, right? I can even tell it as like 100. This is so cool, right? This is so cool, right? So it goes on like this goes on like this, right? Now my question is something like this, guys. Okay, can I write for I in range of z? Can I write it like this, z? Can I write it like this, z? Can I print entire abcd over here? Can I print it like this? I cannot print this. Okay, type error, str object cannot be interpreted as an integer, right? I'm getting an error, right? So can I print it with a float for I in range of 10.5? Can I write it like this, 10.5? Can I write it like this, 10.5? I cannot do this. I cannot do this both the things. Okay, but using the generator, we will be designing this. Okay, so I want you to give me like साथ दो मेरा. Okay, so at the time I can get through this. Is that okay, guys? Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay, first what we do is like we'll find it out for the decimal. Okay, let's find it for the decimal point. Okay, let's find it for the decimal point. Okay, so what is this range? Okay, what is this range? You have it. Okay, in a range you have something called a start index, you have end index, and you have update, right? This is what the three variables you have it, right? But default start index will be assigned to what? 0. Start index is nothing but 0, and update will be what? By default it is nothing but what? 1. You're getting my point? 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 Guys, you're getting my point. All right, so but we'll discuss about that one later. We'll discuss about that one later. Let's discuss about this one. Okay, so I'll go for the mip function. I'll go for the mix function. I'll just tell it as like start. I'll just tell it as start. I'll just tell it as like end. I'll tell it as update. These three variables I'll design it, right? So I'll pass it here. I'll pass it here MIB. I'll pass it here maybe like I'll start it from 2. I will start it. I will end it till 10. I will tell it update by 1. I will tell it. So this is what I'm passing to mib. So this is what happens, right? So now what I need to create it here now. So what I need to create it now here. So I'll just create it here. So instead of I need to create it as something like this. Start index is less than end index. I want to tell it, right? So what I need to do it here, I want to do it as start here, start start here. So instead of I, what I need to do it start here, right? This is one cycle, it is getting it. So update, instead of 1 I want to pass what? Update, right? Update depending upon the customer, right? So update depending upon the customer, what update he is asking for, right? What update he is asking for, depending upon that he will be taking it, right? Depending upon that he will be taking it, right guys? Right. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Now I'll be running this program. I'll be running this program. Okay. So what I do it here? Okay. Simple thing, guys. I'll just tell as like Mibweb. I'll just tell as like 1 comma. I'll just have 5 comma. I'll need to update by 1. I'll enter this. The object is created, right? It is creating the object. But I'll put it in a for loop. For I in MIB, I need to tell it has what? Start index, end index, right? I want to tell it as what? Start index, end index. Look on this start index. I want to tell it start index. I'll start it from 2. End index I'll end it till 5. Each time I want to update by 1, right? Each time I want to update by 1. I'll tell it as I. Whether it is doing it, yes, it is doing it. Again, I'll tell it as something like this. Again, I'll tell it something for I in MIB. I'll tell it I in MIB. I'll tell it I want to start from 1. I will end till 100. I want each time for 5, right? I'll update by 5. I'll just tell it as like I. Whether it is updating it, whether it is updating by 5, yes, it is updating by 5, right? It is whether it is exactly working as it is same, guys. Exactly working as it is same. Exactly working as it is same. Can I call range function with the empty thing, guys? Can I call range function with the empty thing? No, I need to pass something called as like this. Look on here, there is something called as range stop parameters inside a parameter. It has it, not to worry about it. Okay, it has something called as overriding it. Okay, you have two functions. Okay, one is like range stop with 1 parameter, range with 3 parameters. It has it. Got it? Range has with 3 parameters. It has it. Okay, so this is with the optional. Okay, step is with the optional. You have it. Yeah, you can do it, but here range is not given it. Okay, but what I do it now in my function, what I can do is, okay, what I can do is I can recode it. Okay, I can recode this. Okay, so what I can do is like something like this. I can recode it, but it takes some tedious job for you. I will keep it this one as an update. Update has an option now. Update equal to 0. Okay, you whether if it is passing, you can pass it. If you're not passing, that's fine, no problem. Right? By or else I'll just set it as like by default the update will be 1. I can tell this, right? I can tell this. There is no problem with the update at all, right? There is no problem with the update at all. Okay, now what I do is I will initialize this one also 0 itself. I will also initialize this one also 0 itself. Is that okay? Is that okay? Now I want to tell it if I'm passing. Look on here, guys. Okay, look on here. The design you look on here. I can pass with 3 parameter. I can pass with 0 parameter. I can pass with something other parameter also. Okay, the first thing is I will pass with 1 parameter. How it should work? Okay, if I'm passing 1 parameter, how it should work? If I'm passing if I'm passing one parameter like this, how it should work. Okay, this is one thing you need to remember it. If I pass it 2 comma 10, I will tell it. Okay, how it should work it. Okay, if I pass it nothing, if I pass it nothing, it should go here and it will do nothing. Right, it should do nothing and it will come back, nothing to worry about it. Okay, so for this you can tell it as something like this. You can write one if condition. If what you can tell it, if how can you tell it? How can you tell it? If how can you tell it? Ah, ha, 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 ha. Okay, so I can tell it something like this. Okay, so if you're passing like three index, if you're passing three index, that is assigned to that values. That works already fine with that. Nothing to worry about it. Okay, if you're only passing two index, okay, if you're only passing two index also, nothing to worry about it. But there is a problem. If you're passing two index, nothing to worry about. One will take by start, other one will take by end. Not to worry about it. But there is a problem if you're passing a single and double, right? Single and double, right? At that time you will write it. At that time you will write it something like this, guys. If you're passing something like this, okay. So if it is nothing but if you're passing start index, okay, your start is true, and not of end. Okay, अगर ऐसा है, okay, that means start you are passing it. Start is nothing but what, 10 is true and you're passing end, right? So what you need to make it is, you need to make end index equals to, and you need to swap this values. Okay, you need to swap these values. You can write a logic called as swapping the values. Here end is 0 and start is something. You need to give this one to this one and this one to this one. That is what you need to do it. So I'll just like start comma end, I will tell it equals to, I'll just tell as like end comma start, I will tell it. Got it? I'll be swapping it. I'm making start as 0 and I am making end as what? I'm end as what? Whatever the 10 is. Right? By this, what will happen? Okay, by this, what will happen? I can even pass a single parameter also. So if I run this program, guys, if I run this program, right, I can pass it for loop for I in range, right? So I in range, I will tell it as like 10. Okay, this is what the first thing I'll test it. Look on here, I'm getting it now. Oh, it is not range, right? It should be what, guys? It should be MIB, right? It should be MIB. I'll tell us like MIB. I'll call it as MIB. Is it working? Yes, it is working fine now, right? So can I pass two parameters? Can I pass two parameters now? Can I pass two parameters, 1 comma 10? Right? Can I pass it 1 comma 10? Yes, I can pass it 1 comma 10 also. Okay, can I pass three parameters? Yes, I can pass it now three parameters also, right? So I can pass it three parameters also. I will update by 4 now. Oh, crazy, right? I can update by 4 also, right? So I can pass one parameter, I can pass two parameter, I can pass even three parameter. Can I pass without parameters? Can I pass without parameters? I'll just like this. Okay, can I pass without parameters? In either of the cases, I'll get slapped, right? So I'm not getting anything, but it is also passing something, right? But my thing is, I want to print something. Okay, I want to print something, right? I want to print something. Okay, so what I'll do is, I'll just tell as like else if. Okay, I'll just tell as like elif. Okay, I'll just tell as like elif. Okay, elif. I'll just tell as like not of start, not of start. Everything will be 0 0, right? Not of start and not of, I'll just tell as not of end, and I'll tell as not of update, right? I'll just tell as like update. Okay, printf print, I'll tell as no yield perform, no yield. Okay, no yield at all, no yield at all, I'll tell it. A simple message I want to print it. Okay, so that user will understand it. Oh, acha, like I haven't passed anything, so I am not eligible for anything, right? So I'll go for here. Okay, it's fine. Elif. Oh, okay, fine. I think I have over learned it, right? So I'll come here. I'll just tell us like for I in MIB, I'll pass it. MIB, I'll pass it. I'm performing it what I am passing it. It is not calling at all. Again, it should be right, guys. It should be right. Not of start and no end, not of end and not of update. Oh ho, update. Ah, update, right? So I'll remove this. I don't want the update, right? I don't want update at all. If both are like 0 0, like start is 0 and end is 0, or else I can even tell it for the start itself. Why need to compare with end, right? अगर जो start ही 0 है तो end का रख के क्या फायदा? right? If start is so and so, right? If start is so and so, if start and not end, if start and not end, if it is not start, right? I can directly tell that. So if the first parameter is empty, right? If the first parameter itself not passing it, so what I can do it, I can delete as something like this. I guess so. I don't know. What is this? No yield at all, right? So I'm passing it. I'm getting a message called as what? No yield at all. Is that fine, guys? Is this working fine now? Right? Exactly like your range function. If someone want to ask you, okay, write a range function, this is what you're gonna do it. Okay, this is how you're gonna write your own range function. Okay, now I will also modify this. Okay, I will also modify this. Okay, certain things I'm gonna be modifying it. Okay, so you are able to write even pass the character also. You are able to pass even what, like, what do you tell it as, like even the string also. Okay, first we'll work on the decimal point. Okay, I guess guys, like today I'll be only doing the generator. Okay, tomorrow morning I'll be doing the iterator. Or iterator is a small concept, same like whatever you're doing in the generator, how it is iterating it. That is what I'll be discussing in the iterators. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay. Now coming to here. So the plan is something like this. Okay, in a range function, you cannot pass decimal point. Okay, in a range function, you cannot pass what? Decimal point. For example, range, I cannot start it with 1.0 and I will not end up with 2.0 and I will not increment by 0.1. I cannot write it like this. But I need to design a MIB function in such a way that I want to write it. I want to start with 1.0, 2.0 and 0.1. Let's work on this first. Okay, you are getting my point. Let's work on this first, right? I hope I can work this one also. I guess so. Okay, so I go here. Let's say as like for I in MIB, I will tell it. I in MIB, I'll tell it. I'll just tell as like 1.0, I'll tell it, comma. I'll just tell as like 2.0, I'll tell it, comma. I'll just tell as like 0.1, I will tell it, right? And I'll print it I here, right? So what I'm doing it, guys, my decimal point is also working here, right? Not worry about this one, ignore this one, whatever the last point it is coming at. So after this it'll be giving some decimal points. Okay, so whether it is working, guys. Okay, even I can write something like this also, right? So I can tell it as like 1.0, I will start it. Okay, or else I can tell it as like I will tell it as like I will start it from 1 and I will tell it edit till 5. Each time I want to increment by 0.5, right? So I will run this program. Okay, I'll run this program, right? So now what happens? Syntax error. Okay, so I have point over there. Fine, no problem. So I'll do this one, right? I'll do this one. So I have like this, right? I have like this. Now what I want to work it on, okay, what I want to work it on is, okay, so this one is also problem solved, right? This problem also solved. All right, this one is also solved. Now what is the next problem is, okay, I cannot write in the range function, I cannot write it like this. I want to start it from A, I want to end it till E, and each time I'm updating by 1. I cannot write it like this in a range function. But in a MIB function, you need to make sure that it is working like this. A, I have it, E, I have it, and 1, I have it. Okay, is that okay, guys? Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? S. Okay, now what I need to do is, okay, simple thing I want to do it. What I want to do it, okay, first thing I will come here before updating it. Okay, before updating it, okay, I want to check it here. Okay, here till here it is no problem. Okay, if you are getting single thing, you are swapping it, and if it is not there, you are printing no yield, that is okay, no problem. And you are coming here, first character it will print it. Okay, first character it will print it, next character it will not print it, because you cannot have the concatenation with the number and the character. You cannot have a number and a character concatenation. This is where you are failing it. For example, if I run this program, okay, if I run this program, I'll just tell as for I in MIB, I'll tell it, I in MIB, I'll tell it. I'll just tell as like start index as A, I will tell it, and end index as E, I will tell it, and update has 1, I will tell it. Right? If I tell it as like this, if I tell it as I here, okay, I'm printing A, guys. I'm printing A, but after that can only concat str to integer, right? So where I'm getting error, this is the place where I'm getting error, right? This is the place where I'm getting error. What I need to do in this place is simple thing. I will be doing it. I'll be checking the type here. If I'll just tell us like type of start, type of start. Okay, if the type of start is equals to type of str. Okay, type of start is equal to type of str. Is that okay? So I'll just check it out. Why it is I'm telling you. For example, I'll just tell us s is equals to a. I will tell it s is equals to a. I will tell it whether s is type of s, right? I'll just tell like type of s, right? Type of s, whether it is equals to type of str, right? I want to open this and close this, I guess. Okay, so I'll end. It is nothing but true. This is also same type. This is also same type. Okay, I cannot write it like this, I guess. Okay, always remember I cannot write like this. I want to write it like this, str. If the type is str, right, that is what I'll compare it here. Okay, that is what I'll compare it here. Type is nothing but what? Str. So what I need to do it here? What I need to do it here? You just tell me what I need to do it here. I want to concatenate it. Okay, for that I want to write a step, right? So what I need to do it, guys, this str I want to convert into where? I want to convert it into a integer format. How do you convert anything into the integer format? You have something called a chr. In that long back we have learned it, like chr of a is equals to, you can write like this, or chr, right? Chr of like 65, right? 65, you can tell it like this, right? And you can tell it as ord of a, right? You can convert it into the integer number, right? So I'll be using this ord, I'll be using this. So for this ord I can increment it. For example, I can tell it as +1 here, right? This is how I'll be incrementing it, right? Same thing I'll be doing it here. Same thing I'll be doing it here. So what I'll do is I'll just tell as ord of start. Okay, I'll just tell as ord of start of start. Okay, plus update I will tell it. Whatever the update I will tell it. Okay, so update I will tell it, right? Plus update, right? So I'll be concatenating. There was a problem here, right? So I'll be using one temporary variable. I'll be saving it in the temporary variable. Right now what I'll do it for a start, again I want to yield it. So again I'll for a start I will tell it as chr of t. I will tell it, right? So again I can even tell this one without using temporary variable itself. I can put up everything and put up into the one thing itself. I can do the calculation part, but this will be very much nice. Okay, or else you can write up in the same line, in one single line. How can I write it down? Chr of, you can tell it as like ord of strt start, you can tell it, and you can tell it as plus, you can tell it as like update. Okay, you can tell it like this, right? You can tell it like this in the single line. Okay, I have done it in the 2 lines, not to worry about it. Is that okay, guys? Is that okay? So this one should be in the else statement. Else if I need to do this, I want to do this. Is that okay, guys? This is the only step I'll be adding it. That's it. That's fine for me. Okay, now what I do it. Okay, so I'll run this program. Oh, wait, is error. Okay, so if something is missing, guys. Okay, type of str is okay. Okay, so type is okay, like this. Okay, so I'll run this program. So what I need to do it for I in range of, what I need to do it, not range, I'll do it as like mib. Okay, so what I'll do it, I'll just start at a, I'll do it as e, and each time I want to update by 1. Okay, so I hope I might be getting it. Okay, you can see this abcd. Yes, I can do it abcd, right? So if I did it as like z, till z also I can manufacture it now, right? Till z also I can manufacture it, right? So, and guys, look on here you're dealing with a unique code. Always remember, you have thousands, lakhs together of unique code, right? So you can all iterate it by using this one. Got it? So that is what I wanted to tell about it. Okay, got it? Done. Take it down. That's it. That's the end of the class today, and I hope you got something, some point over there. Okay, if you didn't get it anything, you can pass it on the comments, so I'll be helping out to you. I'll be reaching out there. Got it? Thank you so much. We'll see you with the next video with the iterators.